Tyler versus Thanos. Who wins?
Thanos. Oh, God.
Tyler would know to go for the head.
From a distance.
I want to start by talking about the action, because everyone loves the action in Extraction. So once it was decided that Extraction 2 was going to happen, how did you go about trying to top the first film in terms of action? Because is this like a Tyler Rake situation in the sense that you're accepting a mission you probably really shouldn't?
That is a great analogy, and you're 100% right. I probably should have said no and let somebody else do it, but I said yes. But a part of it, truthfully, is putting yourself out there and being willing to fail, and doing something that scares you. Because the second movie, with the reception of the first movie being so positive, overwhelmingly so from audiences, there's a lot of expectations, and so you go, how can we make this better? And it's terrifying. You go, I don't know exactly. When you say yes, I don't know how to make it better necessarily. But then you surround yourself with creative, positive people who are supportive and hopefully better minds than what you have, and you just march forward together trying to service the idea that the best idea wins, whoever that comes from. And so you start to collect all these ideas, and then, hopefully when they go up on screen and go together, they make sense and they improve upon what you did in the first one. But it was terrifying, and it probably somebody else probably should have done it.
No, not at all.
So Sam, you've talked about already having an idea for a third movie. So do you see an end to Tyler's story? And is there spin-off potential for Extraction? Because I would love to see like a Nick Yas buddy cop movie, kinda.
That's a great idea. I do know that the Russos, and I think from their time in the Marvel universe, have set up this Extraction universe with a lot of potential for characters to go off and branch off in different stories and different adventures. I think we've kind of proven that Tyler Rake is very resilient.
But you survived. You fought your way back.
So I think he has quite a few more stories in him, and a lot of it depends on the reaction of fans to this movie. Because from the first one, that's what gave a sequel life, was the people loving the character and wanting more. So we'll see. If they still feel that way after the second movie, then I think they deserve more Tyler Rake stories, because he's a pretty great character.
Getting you out of here, okay?
So this is kind of a different question, because we know Tyler Rake doesn't have superpowers, but he has proven his capabilities throughout these two movies, right? So I have here the names of 3 supervillains.
Ooh.
And I want to know from you, Chris, if you think Tyler could beat them. Can I start?
The answer is yes.
All right, starting with Ultron. Let's remember he has a lot of goons. Wow. So would he beat him?
Ultron?
Yeah.
I mean, it took 53 Avengers to take him down, didn't it? I'd have to approach that from an intellectual standpoint, and some sort of peace offering, and discuss it over a beer, and trick him into a false sense of security, and then.
Well, Tyler beat Loki, who is, let me remind you, a literal god.
Oh.
I know Loki better than most people due to knowing his brother, Thor. I'd have him covered, yeah.
The last one, okay? The biggest challenge is Tyler versus Thanos. Who wins?
Thanos, oh God.
Well,
he might have me there.
but I think Tyler would know to go for the head.
That's right.
Headshot.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess around. I wouldn't make that mistake.
Yeah.
From a distance.
So as we know, in this movie, Idris Elba joins the franchise. So I'm wondering, from you, Sam, if he will play a big role in the future of the franchise, and from you, Chris, how was it like to reunite with him?
Well, I think there is potential for that storyline to be present in a third film should audiences respond positively to the second. We tried to set it up that way, and when we were coming up with that character of Alcott, it was like somebody who was going to enter this universe and open it up a little bit to more potential. When we landed on the role, or on the actor of Idris Elba to play that role, it was good night, and can I have some more? I mean, we'll see. Again, it really depends on how people respond to the second movie. But I think I'd love to see the two of them on screen together. There's this chemistry that is just magnetic, which he can speak to more.
Yeah, he's a very close friend of mine. We've talked about working together ever since the first Thor film. The idea came up to introduce this character kind of later in the piece. And for me, what I'm always looking for is different actors, different individuals bring out something very different in you. And I thought, look, to tonally have something be surprising for an audience, we've got to pivot in a different direction. And I thought he'd be the perfect person to bring out a different energy in Tyler. And it doesn't mean that Tyler changes dramatically in his personality, but you get to play off someone who has wonderful charisma, has a wit, has a sense of humor, and I think he does an incredible job. And if given the opportunity, I reckon we could do something pretty fun and exciting.
So, Chris, how does your experience in Extraction compare to your time in other big Hollywood sets? Like, what's the difference between a big special effects set piece and a more practical action scene?
It's so much more immersive. You know, you've got to work so much harder on a green screen to get into the state of the character emotionally and physically. You know, you're often, we've shot in Hollywood a lot and at air-conditioned sets and it's sunny and you're trying to be exhausted and tired and, we were shooting in the Czech Republic in this film, beautiful place, but harsh winter, freezing. In the first film, we shot in India and Thailand, incredibly hot, humid, sticky. And in both of the films, I think there is an aesthetic to it which is so authentic and truthful. And the sweat, the exhaustion is real, that resonates with an audience. It makes my job physically more difficult, but as far as portraying the emotion of the character, you're right in it. And I think an audience responds to that spontaneity and truth in a much deeper way.